Fun.
Another week of NHL hockey in the books. We're breaking it all down on this week's edition of the Dump and Chase podcast, presented by the Hoosier Network. Of course, I'm Noah Bedoris with Noah Seuss and the man himself, Jack Rizzo. Gentlemen, we're back at it, and I want to jump right into this week's opener, talking about injuries, and that's been an issue for a lot of teams so far this season. Seuss, I want to start with you and just ask you who right now is the most impactful injury right now in the NHL?
So there's a lot of injuries going down in the league. We saw players like Jack Hughes go down early. Now his brother Luke is down for the count. But I'm gonna stick it in the Metro. I'm gonna take Igor Shesterkin from the New York Rangers. He is the most impactful player on that hockey team, and it's so easy to see. Without Igor Shesterkin, I feel like the Rangers probably are the worst team in the NHL, without a doubt. But with Igor, I feel like they're a wild card contender. So when he comes back, I feel like he can get them afloat. But right now, they are in last place in the whole Eastern.
Are you saying that Igor, if you add him right now, they could be a contender, or they would be if they had him the whole time?
They would be if they had him the whole time.
Because right now, I don't think fixing the goaltending by adding Igor Shesterkin makes you make up those 12 points that you're down in the wild card. Jack, you agree, I can tell.
Yeah, 100%. You also have Adam Foxton. I actually think he's more important to this team than Igor Shesterkin right now. This offense just does not have nearly enough to contend. There's no question they'd be better if Igor was healthy, but they would not be contending for the playoffs this year.
I don't think they would be in last place in the whole Eastern Conference.
That's fair.
I think they would be.
I don't know. I mean,
it's close though.
Maybe where the Flyers and the Devils
East has so much parity. The Flyers are staying afloat better than I thought they would. The only teams that there's no teams in the East that I would say are a legitimately bad team, either on paper or by record. Because the Rangers are a bad team right now, but on paper they're the same Rangers team of the past for the most part. Like there's not a whole lot of pieces that we're missing to think, oh, this team's only going to win, 40 games this year.
Yeah, until they trade everybody away at the trade deadline.
They probably will.
Yeah. Chris Drury's already said that that's what they're planning on doing, so I'm assuming they're going to follow suit on that.
Yeah, they said Panarin wasn't going to come back with the extension, and they were going to trade him somewhere.
I'm excited to see where he goes. I think he's going to be a Stanley Cup type of pickup for whatever team gets him.
Very nice. Jack, who is the most noticeable absence right now?
This is a pretty easy one for me. I'm going with Matt Boldy of the Minnesota Wild. The Wild have been one of the best teams in the league over the last couple months. They obviously got a huge addition in Quinn Hughes in a trade with Vancouver. But really, this offense runs through Kirill Kaprizov and Matt Boldy. And with Boldy being on injured reserve, that offense is even more thin now. You're really relying on Kaprizov and Quinn Hughes from the back lines to provide scoring. And I'm just not sure if that's going to be enough for them. They're going to need Matt Boldy back as quickly as possible. Went on injured reserve last week with an injury. The Wild are actually in second place now in the Central Division. But if Matt Boldy's out for an extended period of time, I do not expect them to maintain that. They need him back as quickly as possible because I feel like a losing streak is coming with them once Kirill Kaprizov and Quinn Hughes go on cold stretches, which is inevitable because it's hockey.
I disagree a little bit on that, only because the Central is so weak. I think that with Boldy out, sure, the Wild could fall back to third place, but I don't think there's a whole lot you could do to this team that would make them drop out of that top 3 spot in the Central, and you're going to have a healthy roster by playoff time, you would assume.
I think the top 3 is just a lock. I think it was a lock 2 weeks ago. I think it's a lock right now.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter what spots everyone gets because the Avalanche are going to get one.
Right.
So if the Stars or the Wild are 2 and 3,
it just matters who's going to play game 1 and 7 at home at that point.
Yes, exactly.
That's true. I will say with Minnesota, though, I think they are the team, in the West who I think it's most important that they have home ice advantage.
I'll give you that.
So that's the main reason. I think the difference between second and third place for them is bigger than some people might think.
It's incredible right now. Totally off topic, but I'm just looking at these standings. Outside of Tampa Bay, the top 3 favorites for me in my cup favorites are all those top 3 teams in the Central. It's so stacked. It's ridiculous right now.
Love you giving the respect to Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay is a very, very good hockey team, but outside of them, you got the Avs, Wild, and Stars who are all in the same division.
Which is just crazy.
It's
a powerhouse division besides the rest of the division. So,
and the funny thing is, the Stars aren't even playing their best hockey right now, but we know they're going to be one of the most dangerous teams once playoff time comes around.
Yep. My most impactful injury right now is William Nylander of the Toronto Maple Leafs. 17 games in only on the season. He's already at 48 points. He's having a very productive season so far, but the Leafs are outside of a playoff spot at the moment, and so they're going to need that firepower back. This is a team that everybody expected to compete or even win the division going into this season, and so with an injury like Nylander, you're really shooting yourself in the foot and putting yourself at risk of distancing yourself from teams like Boston or Buffalo. Even though I think Boston is not a playoff team and I think that they will fall off, there's a lot of teams that are going to want to compete for that East wild card.
I think Toronto's going to get it. If they keep on, they're back. They're winning games. They're scoring goals. And like you said, Boston, I feel like, is really inconsistent. I think Buffalo's going to make it, but I don't see Boston making it.
How do we feel about Toronto as a whole, as a contender? Like, are they a team that if they get in, they can get hot? Jack?
The weird thing about Toronto this year is their problem hasn't been giving up goals. It's been scoring goals. Their goaltending's actually been really good. Both Joseph Woll and
Stolarz has been kind of there.
Yeah, no, Stolarz is still injured.
Right.
Dennis Hildeby.
Yeah.
Dennis Hildeby. They have both been outstanding in net. I don't even think Stolarz has a spot when he comes back, to be honest, because of how good these two goalies have been. If this offense can get going, they are incredibly dangerous. I mean, Toronto, they usually have a top 3 power play in hockey. They have a top 3 penalty kill this year on the reverse end of that. So if this offense could just establish some consistency, if Austin Matthews goes on a crazy hot streak, they are absolutely going to be a dangerous team. The Atlantic is loaded this year, but I still think Toronto is right there in the mix.
I mean, what's crazy right now is that William Nylander is the points leader for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and he's played 17 games. 37 games, 17 goals.
That'd be quite impressive.
I was reading that totally wrong the entire time. I got my sevens confused. 17 goals on 37 games. But that's still a decent amount of time missed compared to Tavares, who's at 50 games, or Matthews, who's at 44. Ekman Larsson's at 50. Riley's at 49. Like, he's missing 2 weeks of a season, and he's still your you're still your points leader.
Yeah, but you're happy to see the other guys producing. Matthews, 25 goals. He had a really cold start to this season. Tavares, getting up there in age. Father Time not hitting him just yet. 43 points in 50 games. And they have had 5 goaltenders. I repeat, 5 goaltenders play this year for the Toronto Maple Leafs at some point this year.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
It is. All right, well, let's jump back in and start with Player of the Week. Jack, lead us off, buddy. Who's your Player of the Week?
Yeah, I'm excited about this one. This team's been playing really, really well over the last couple weeks. I'm going with Ryan O'Reilly, a veteran, former Conn Smythe winner, now on the Nashville Predators. He has been outstanding, really the forefront of this push that the Predators are making. This is the best they've looked in quite some time. Over the last week, Ryan O'Reilly was outstanding, had 7 points this past week, had a 3-goal performance. I'm trying to pull, it just went away from me. That's really nice, thank you. There it is. Perfect. Yes, had a hat trick against Colorado last week, handed the Avalanche their first home regulation loss of the season. He had also a good performance against Ottawa, had a goal, no goals, 3 assists, 2 goals, a goal against Buffalo. Ryan O'Reilly was outstanding this week, a total of 11 points in 4 games. I still don't think Nashville is going to be competing for the playoffs this year. I still think they should sell at the trade deadline. I don't really know if we're going to see this team in the playoffs, but Ryan O'Reilly is really increasing his trade value right now, if indeed they do decide to trade him at the deadline.
I don't know how to feel about this Predators team, like you said, because the West is just so wide open with bad teams where, Seattle I don't trust as a playoff team. Even the Ducks I don't trust. Outside of those top 3 that we've mentioned in the Central, Vegas and Edmonton, those last 3 playoff spots could be anybody in the West.
The Sharks, the Kings, the Predators.
Outside of the Flames and Nucks, any of those teams I think could sneak into a playoff spot.
The Jets are still alive with the way they're playing. They got a point yesterday. Nashville's so weird because at the start of the year I said they were going to be better than they were last year because they were terrible last year.
Right.
And they have been a lot better than last year, and they're still a point out of a playoff spot. So there's still room for improvement. I think they will be in the fight to the end because how bad it is.
Yeah, it is a little interesting. Jack, you're talking about Ryan O'Reilly. He's also the points leader for this Nashville team, and that's not quite what you expect out of a team that's not built to win, but built with a few other veteran presences. A very aging Ryan O'Reilly is not who you expect to be having 32 assists and 50 points and a plus-minus of +8 right now.
Remember when Ryan O'Reilly said earlier this year, he basically trashed on himself saying, I've only had 1 good season in my entire career.
Yeah.
Well, this could go down as he has a chance to break his career high in points with the way he's playing. He's averaging a point per game. He's 3 points away from matching his point total of all of last year. It's really awesome to see him finding the fountain of youth. Now, obviously, Nashville could just stand pat at the trade deadline and keep their roster. But if Ryan O'Reilly's on the trade block, he's going to be a massive addition for whatever Stanley Cup competing team adds him. He adds that veteran presence, that leadership, and his play on the ice, which has been outstanding this year.
Yeah.
And then in the rumors, you've heard a lot also about Steven Stamkos because he's had a hat trick yesterday. He's been awesome for the Nashville Predators. Do we think he stays or do we think he goes?
I don't know. I think that if Nashville really thinks that they can compete, they will try this year. I think that even though the roster is obviously not built to win a Stanley Cup, if Nashville thinks once we hit March that there is a chance you could be a playoff team, I do not think they will sell. And if anything, they might add a couple pieces. So I expect, and again, with the state of the West, I expect the Predators to stay the same, if not improved by the end of the year.
If the Predators do trade Steven Stamkos, the only place I could see him going would be back to Tampa Bay. I quite literally cannot see him play for any other team other than Tampa Bay. And if he has, I don't know if he has a no-trade clause in his contract or not. And if he does, I think that's the only place he would probably waive the no-trade clause to.
Does Tampa Bay need more support at center?
They need more depth.
Yeah?
They're very top heavy.
He does have a full no movement clause.
I feel like he would waive it only to Tampa Bay. Yeah, I think Tampa needs a bit more. Yeah, their centers aren't their strength necessarily. They've got some good ones, but
who are there? Yeah,
Gensel, Cirelli, and Braden Point. But
Yeah.
Braden Point's hurt right now, though.
I know, but
That's another key injury.
They probably slot one of those.
You could also
three
move
at the
one of them
wings.
to the wing. Like
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
I know, but
I'm pretty sure Jake Gensel's been a winger in the past. So
Yeah, I don't think he's spent much time at center in his career.
I don't think so either.
yeah, could see it. All right,
No, not likely. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, and especially with just the way that Tampa is right now, I don't know how much they'll be willing to, or how much they'll be wanting to build at the deadline. If they're going to be more, we like our pieces, let's keep the lines the same, let's keep the roster the same.
I think they're going to add a defenseman, Tampa.
Yeah.
I think that's what they would add.
Yeah, but adding a defenseman is way easier to integrate into a line than adding a forward, in my opinion.
That's my point.
Yeah.
that's my point.
Yeah. Who's your player of the week?
My player of the week is from the team we just talked a lot about, the Minnesota Wild. Kirill Kaprizov has been phenomenal for this Minnesota Wild team. He had 2 goals yesterday. He's been racking up the assist this week. And the Wild have just been cruising. Like we said, I don't think the Matt Boldy loss is as big as it seems with Kirill Kaprizov, the way he's playing. He's been phenomenal. 3 points yesterday in the overtime win. Did he have the overtime winner? Let me check. I think he did have the overtime winner. Yes, he did. From Quinn Hughes in overtime. So I think he's such a key part to this Wild team. Like we said at the start of the year, it was a one-man show, but now I feel like the pieces are all there around him.
Yeah.
It's the perfect time to be a Wild fan.
I'm going to talk more about the Wild in a little bit, so I want to quickly move past that and go to my player of the week, which is Andrei Vasilevsky, who, in his last 3 games, has just given up 1.3 goals, and it's a save percentage just south of 94%. Currently sitting at 2nd in the league in goals against and 5th in save percentage. And what's really incredible to me is that he hasn't given up more than 2 goals in the past 7 games. And what's even crazier to me is that the Tampa Bay Lightning are 2nd place in the Atlantic right now. This team is so good on paper. Their goal differential is at plus 49, yet they are still behind the Detroit Red Wings for the Atlantic. Jack, tell me why.
Why the Red Wings have 4 games in hand on Tampa right now, and it's a 1-point difference.
That is true. I didn't even look at that part.
Yeah, I don't know why Tampa has played so few games this year. No, they will easily overtake Detroit. Give some credit though to Detroit. I am shocked that they have stayed this high in the Atlantic this deep into the season. But going back to Tampa, yeah, Vasilevsky, he's defied father time. I mean, this guy just ages like a fine wine. I thought at the beginning of the season he was toast. The Lightning started the season off so poorly. I thought I would severely regret my Stanley Cup choice. But now we are here in late January, and the Lightning are probably the best team in the East. I don't think there's any questions asked about that.
Oh, you could say best team in the league right now.
You could. I still think Colorado.
Yeah,
I think Colorado's better, but you could argue for
right
it.
now. Right, the way they're playing right now, I think you're right because they have a 14-game point streak right now.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been playing unbelievable hockey. Keep in mind, that's without Braden Point. That's without Victor Hedman. It's ridiculous what the Tampa Bay Lightning are doing. And Vasilevsky, I think, is the favorite for the Vezina right now with the way he's playing. Logan Thompson's kind of slipped. Spencer Knight's kind of slipped. I think Vasilevsky has started to rise. And I think also, I don't think Jesper Wallstedt's going to have enough starts to end up being the Vezina. So I think Vasilevsky is probably the favorite right now.
Yeah, Tampa is the best team in the East, in my opinion. They've been awesome these last, 14 games after such a bad start. And when you get Braden Point back, just imagine how dangerous this Tampa Bay Lightning team is going to be. I feel like they're going to easily overtake the Red Wings. And I think the Red Wings slide to third with how good Montreal is too.
I like Montreal a lot. And
I like Buffalo a lot too.
do you really? You think Buffalo could slide to a third place spot?
I like Buffalo.
I really do.
Over the Wings or over Montreal?
Over the Wings.
Okay.
Over the Wings. No, I think Montreal's better than Buffalo. Well, actually, Buffalo just beat Montreal at Montreal the other night.
Yeah, that's
so that is, I think, a conversation that needs to be had.
Yeah, but sometimes good teams beat good teams.
Regardless, though, I just think those will be the 4 teams in the Atlantic. I don't think that's going to change.
Okay.
I don't know what order it's going to be, but Detroit, Tampa, Montreal, Buffalo. I feel pretty confident about that.
So not Toronto?
No, they'll be the. I think they'll be the fifth.
Toronto gets in.
They'll be fifth, but they'll be the second wild card.
Okay. I thought you were saying that those 4 would be the only playoff teams.
No, I just meant those would be the top 4. in the
Gotcha,
division.
okay.
Yeah, Tampa or Toronto will be in. Boston, I think, is going to drop out. I do not see them keeping this up.
If Florida gets healthy, do we think Florida can still be in this race?
I hope not.
I think it's too late.
Oh no, it's not. I don't think it's too. I mean, they're 5
plenty of
points. They're
time.
5 points out of a playoff spot.
They're 5 points, but I don't know if there's going to be enough time for Matthew Tkachuk to get familiar with this lineup, integrate himself. He might still be playing hurt.
I don't know. I think that I don't want it to happen, but a 5-point deficit is 3 wins and 3 losses away.
Yes.
That's all you got to make up. Even if Tkachuk isn't at 100% or he's not integrated or he's not gelling. If you can just get into a playoff spot, this team is so good and so dangerous.
I think he's fine because he's going to play in the Olympics in February.
Yeah.
If I don't think if he was healthy, he wouldn't sacrifice the season to play in the Winter Olympics. Don't get me wrong. It takes a lot to represent the country, but I think he cares more about the Florida Panthers going to the playoffs and going for the three-peat. But he wouldn't play if he wasn't 100%. So I think he's going to be fine, and the Panthers are going to be in this race till the end.
Here's what I'll say about the Florida Panthers. If they want to get in the playoffs, Sergei Bobrovsky needs to step it up. He's
Absolutely.
875 save percentage right now.
That's bad.
That's not going to get Florida in. If Sergei Bobrovsky can play like he did last year, then I think Florida could absolutely make it. I'm not counting them out. I'm just saying that I don't think they're better than any of the teams that are currently ahead of them.
The only thing that they benefit from is the fact that the Metro is so bad.
That's true.
Where the only teams they're going to have to compete for a wild card spot, in my opinion, will be from their division.
I still think the Devils might be the second best team in this division, honestly.
How is Pittsburgh still hanging around?
They're special teams.
They're
special teams.
I know.
It's all about their special teams.
It really, Devils should get in there, and it obviously will be the Canes, and I think the Islanders are still a playoff team. I don't know how the Penguins are still around. Earlier this year, I was a believer, but the coldness that I've seen out of Pittsburgh makes me think that this is not sustainable because their cold gets very, very cold.
Yeah, they have won 3 straight. They've beaten the Kraken, the Flames, and the Oilers, which besides the Oilers, the Flames and the Kraken are not the best teams in the NHL. And then they play the Canucks, so they're playing. I think they're in a really stretch of playing Pacific teams. So I think that's what's keeping them afloat as well.
Yeah, but if they keep playing those teams, are they going to be able to build enough of a cushion to keep them in a playoff spot? Because right now, I mean, they have a 6-point lead on a wild card right now. So I mean,
I think their goaltending duo
4-point lead. That's on me. 4 point. Okay, go.
I don't think their goaltending duo is that good. Skinner's not been terrible since coming over from Edmonton with a .902 save percentage and a 2.34 goals allowed. But I don't think he can even come close to keeping this up.
That's a good point. I didn't consider that. Remembering the Stuart Skinner trade, you might even expect Pittsburgh to sell more by the deadline, just based on that move that we saw a month ago.
It really is all about their special teams.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really hard to believe, but I mean, their power play is the 3rd best in league, and their penalty killing is the 4th best. You're gonna have top 5 special teams in both categories. You're gonna be a playoff team. It doesn't really matter what else you do. They're the exact opposite of what the Capitals are doing. Incredible at even strength, possibly the worst special teams group in the league on both sides. Remember when you said earlier in the year that the Penguins were last year's Capitals?
Yep.
The results are similar, but the way they're doing it is completely different.
Yep. All right, let's move into Team of the Week. I want to lead off. and go back to Minnesota. You were talking about Kirill Kaprizov earlier. Minnesota is my team of the week. They went 3-1 since our last show. The only loss being a 4-3 loss in Montreal. So not a bad showing. Every week as of recent, you guys ever use StatMuse?
Yes.
Big StatMuse guy.
StatMuse.
And I just asked him, NHL players, point leaders since January 16th. So since our last show. 4 out of the top 6 point getters in the past week are all from the Wild. Kirill Kaprizov, Zuccarello, Quinn Hughes, and Vladimir Tarasenko are all in the top 6. Ryan O'Reilly is ahead of all of them. Forsberg is ahead of Tarasenko. But besides that, there's 4 guys in this team that are having hex of weeks, and we're seeing that production in the way that Minnesota's winning games. I mean, putting up 6 goals in Toronto, putting up 5 in Buffalo, still 3 at Montreal is fine, 4 against Detroit. I mean, they're not having blowout wins, but they're winning in solid fashion. And they already jumped Dallas for the second place in the Central. I'm very much a believer in this Minnesota team, and I think they might even try to get better at the deadline.
If they get better at the deadline, the sky is the limit for them.
Yeah.
You get one more forward in on this mix. You already added Quinn Hughes to the solution. The goaltending duo is perfectly fine in my mind.
I agree.
So if you add maybe 1 or 2 more forwards, maybe another defenseman doesn't hurt, I think the sky is the limit for the Minnesota Wild. The only problem, they have to play Dallas in the first round, and then they have to play Colorado in the second round.
Yep.
So you say to yourself, if you're Bill Guerin, how are we going to be better than the Dallas Stars and the Colorado Avalanche?
Yeah, I think that's exactly the philosophy you need to take. I really just cannot stand the new playoff format. We should not be having Wild Stars in the first round or Wild Avalanche in the second round. Those are Western Conference final type matchups that we should be getting later in the playoffs. But I love the way this Minnesota team's been playing. I think John Hines deserves a lot of credit. Kirill Kaprizov missed half the games last year. They still got in the playoffs. And now that he's been fully healthy this year, we've seen what the ceiling is for this Minnesota team. And maybe I'm starting to rethink my Matt Boldy statement. I still think he's incredibly important to this team. But with the duo of Kaprizov and Quinn Hughes providing most of the scoring, they might be okay until Matt Boldy comes back. I still think it's incredibly important that he's back, especially for the postseason. But I am looking forward to what this Minnesota team could do. They haven't always had the most success in the postseason. They're kind of known as chokers, but I think this Minnesota team has the best chance out of any Minnesota team we've seen in like the last 25 years.
I have a small sidebar. Do you think that the NHL playoff format would be better if you swapped the matchup with so let's say for the Western Conference, for example, the matchup with the winner of the Central and the winner of the Pacific? So
they just play first round?
For example, when in this upcoming postseason, you would have Minnesota and Dallas playing in the first round. Instead of playing Colorado in the second, they would play Vegas in the second.
Oh, you just swap them?
You're having interdivision play in the second round instead of having the division champ after the second. Do you think that would improve anything?
I don't think so.
Really?
I was such a big fan of the 1-8 system.
Oh, it's great.
Shout out to what the NBA has, because that's just great. And the NHL in 2013. You don't want the Wild playing the Stars in the first round. And we've seen Oilers Kings for what? 3 years?
Yeah.
4 years, actually,
4
I
years,
think.
yeah.
Yeah.
The only way that I see 1 through 8 working best is if you balance the schedule better. You can play your own conference way more, but as long as you're still playing teams within your own division substantially more than everybody else, being good within your division should still mean something.
Yes, winning your division should still. I think this is how they should do it. Winning your division guarantees you a top 2 spot. So, like, say Tampa gets the 1, they have what, 100 points. Carolina gets the 2 with like 98, and then if Detroit has 9 more points than Carolina, then they should just be the 3. I think winning your division should still mean you
I
get
don't
a
know.
top 2 spot.
I think you should just go straight balanced schedule 1 through 8. I think to get rid of the divisions entirely, just go conferences like the NBA.
I like that. I'm a fan. Bettman, I hope Bettman is listening to us right now.
Yeah. All right. Are we good on Minnesota? Let's go to Jack's team of the week. This is one that we used to talk about a lot, but haven't for a while.
I am so excited to talk about this team again. This is a conversation I really enjoyed at the beginning of the season. The Utah Mammoth are back, guys. I am so excited about this. They are on a 4-game win streak. They have points in each of their last 8 games. They've been playing outstanding hockey, really taking advantage of how weak that Central team is. I think they're fourth in this division by a mile. I really think that they're going to be the wild card team out of this division. I think there will be one wild card team from the Central and one from the Pacific. I feel pretty confident in saying that. They are playing outstanding hockey. They are really well balanced offensively. Guys like Clayton Keller, Nick Schmaltz being outstanding. The D-core has been outstanding. You have a guy like John Marino, who's at a plus 30 this year on the ice. Nate Schmidt, another veteran defenseman, plus 25. Ian Cole, another veteran defenseman, plus 17. They play really smart, disciplined hockey, and I think that's a huge reason why I think they are going to make the playoffs this year in their second season in Utah. Karol Vejmelka has also won his last 7 starts in net. They are really doing everything right now, and I am really excited to see where this team goes for the rest of the season.
And you look at the numbers here. JJ Petrega has 33 points in 50 games. Last year, he was incredible, like over a point per game, and he's not producing at what he should be. And they're still playing really good hockey. I think this Utah team, I'm really high on them, like I said I was before. I think they're going to be a playoff team.
I'd like to see them upgrade a little bit at defense before the end of March.
Really?
Yes.
I do. I think that
Sergachev and Moreno don't do it.
yeah. I mean
So you must think that they're too defensive oriented and they need
Yes.
more scoring from the blue lines.
yes.
Okay.
I that's what I'm saying. Is obviously the defense is showing up. You know, they're holding teams to one or two goals a night. But when you get into the NHL playoffs, the two things to me that matter more than defense are your goaltending and your goal scoring. And strict defense does not win you a Stanley Cup in my experience. Compared to the teams that have such high-powered offenses, I wouldn't be upset at all if I'm a Utah fan and you are able to upgrade the guys who are your defensemen but are also capable of scoring a lot more goals.
I think you look at the teams that have won the Cup. You look at that Colorado team a couple years ago. They were so balanced on offense and defense, in my opinion, where if you have the perfectly balanced hockey team, you're gonna win the Stanley Cup. I mean, so that's what I feel like Tampa has this year.
When you have a Cale Makar on that team that is going to be one of your top goal scorers, but also really a great defenseman,
exactly,
that's what wins you a cup.
I don't think Utah definitely doesn't have the roster to win you a Stanley Cup. They have the roster to make the playoffs, but they're not going to be a Western Conference Finals team.
And just with how good the rest of Central is, like it'll be a shock to literally everybody if the winner of the Western Conference is not either from the Central or Edmonton, in my opinion.
You don't think Vegas has a chance?
I don't think so. Not compared to those top three, and Edmonton just because I like them.
What if Vegas slaps someone on LTIR real quick and then they get someone big at the deadline?
They could, yeah. But I'm saying right now, this Vegas team, I don't think is going to compete for. Or I don't think is expected to win the West.
I think the goal for Utah is to get that second wild card or the first wild card spot, so you play Vegas instead of Colorado. In the first round. Because I think they can beat Vegas. I don't think they can beat Colorado.
Thank you.
Yeah, I definitely think they can beat Vegas. I don't think they're going any further than that, though.
I mean, just look at the point differences right now. If you have Utah playing Vegas in the first round, that's a team with 60 points versus a team with 56 points. If they have to go to Colorado and play a 77, as of right now, point Colorado team, nobody's coming out of that with more than a win, maybe.
Yeah.
We looked at the teams in the past that have won the President's Trophy by a pretty dominant amount. Tampa, swept by Columbus.
Yep. Great time.
Florida. No, I mean Boston. Sorry.
So, yeah.
Boston.
Losing 7 to Florida.
So, could the Avalanche be on a similar road where they play a sneaky wild card team and lose?
I really don't think so.
I don't think the West is as strong as the East was in 2019 or the East was in 2023.
Because picture that Florida team that beat Boston. That Florida team that beat Boston would wipe the floor with this Utah team.
Exactly.
No team that could play Colorado in the first round is even close to the caliber of teams that have done that upset in previous years. Seuss, team of the week?
Team of the week, they're back, they're rolling, they're quacking. The Anaheim Ducks. In the last 2 weeks, they have beaten both the Dallas Stars and the Colorado Avalanche. This goalie duo, Dustall and Husso, have been phenomenal. Dustall had, 40 saves last night? No, on Wednesday, sorry. In a 2-1 shootout win over the Avalanche, and that's the best offensive team in the whole NHL. I think the Ducks, the third spot in the Pacific is so weird because there's so many teams up for grabs with it. between the Ducks, the Sharks, the Kings. I think the Ducks are going to get it.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think the Pacific is that strong. Keep in mind, they are doing this all without Leo Carlson. That's a player that maybe was snubbed on the biggest injury right now for every team. I don't know if the goaltending is going to be good enough for them to go far in the playoffs. But I think because of how weak the Pacific is and because of how front-loaded this offense is, I think that's going to be enough to get them in the playoffs.
They'll get in the playoffs, but they're going to play Edmonton in the first round.
Yeah, I think they'll be third. They're better than Seattle. They're better than San Jose. But they're not better than Edmonton.
They're going to run into a wall of Edmonton in the first round and probably get swept, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I think they are building for the future, though.
Gentlemen's sweep.
I don't think so.
Losing 5.
Oh, this Oilers team is so... Because regardless of the sport, I'm a strong believer that playoff experience is a big deal.
And they have it.
And this Edmonton team has so much of it, and this Anaheim team does not. I think that Edmonton's going to get the first 2 games at home. They're going to win that. And then Anaheim gets game 3 at home. They are not going to be ready to play at home in front of a full and, excited because it's Anaheim. They haven't had a playoff game in a little bit. They're not going to win game 3, and by that point, a 3-0 deficit, you're not winning game 4.
Yeah, it's going to be close. I could also see Edmonton getting in first and Vegas playing the Ducks.
It's literally the same thing. Vegas has so much playoff experience, they're going to sweep the Ducks.
Yeah. So it's going to be tight. The Pacific's probably definitely the worst division in the whole National Hockey League right now because how wide open it is and how bad the teams are. If you look, Vegas has 60 points. The second wild card in the East has 60 points.
Yeah.
That is brutal.
The East is good.
The East is really good.
Let's move on to the not team of the week. And Jack, I'll go with you because you have the only team that I think was actually worthy of this title for the past week. Go ahead.
Yeah, pretty easy one for me. It's the Washington Capitals. I have no clue what's going on with them, especially in such a weak Metro division. Like, I really thought that they would easily be like one of the 2 best teams in this division this year. And right now they are sitting towards the bottom of the division in severe danger of missing the playoffs. I have no idea what's going on with this team. I just don't think they have enough top-end scoring, really, to help them. I mean, Ovechkin's been cold. Tom Wilson's been cold. Really, their entire team has gone cold. The Caps are a team where they're either all really hot or they're all ice cold. And when they're all ice cold, it is really dangerous territory for them. I really think we're just starting to realize that they were just so incredibly lucky last year to have that kind of season they did. And this team this year is really more the team that we can expect from them. I mean, Logan Thompson can only do so much, right? With the way this offense has been playing, they don't have nearly enough production on special teams to make up for the lack of scoring. And unless they turn it around real soon, they're not going to be a playoff team this year.
The thing that sticks out to me with Washington is just their age. Like, that they are an old hockey team. Not to say that that's going to, deter them from a playoff spot, but Tom Wilson's 31 years old. Ovechkin is how old?
40.
40. Just
John Carlson's in his 30s, mid-30s. Dylan Strom's not that young.
Strom's 28. He's approaching 30. Who was like
Churchman?
27. Did you say Carlson?
Yeah.
Okay.
Carlson's his mid-30s.
Yeah, Carlson's 36. There's nobody on this team that is that, young spark plug that you can expect to go the distance in the postseason. I think that this team is good on paper. They're going to win some games, but there's only so many veterans you can keep on a roster without having also some young guys to carry the load. I just think that the recipe for this team is not one that will win games and not even one that will be a playoff team.
I feel like they won majority of the games they have this year because of Logan Thompson, how good he's been at the back end. A 2.3 goals against. Like we said, he's fallen out of the Vezina race, but he's still been consistently good for this Washington Capitals team. So I feel like that's what's keeping them somewhat afloat in this playoff race.
They also lost to Vancouver on Wednesday.
Vancouver had like an 11-game losing streak going into that game.
Yep. And they're going to get Calgary tonight.
Home or away?
What? Away.
Okay.
They have 4-game road trip still. Calgary, Edmonton, Seattle, Detroit, and then they'll come home and play Carolina.
I'm gonna say one win in those last 4 road games.
And then they get Islanders at home, Philly on the road, Nashville at home to end the first half of the season. Not looking good for them.
Not good. I think they're going to be bottom 3 in the division by the end of the year. I think it's going to be Washington, Philly, and the Rangers as the bottom 3 in this division by the end of the year.
So Columbus jumps
I think they'll be 5th.
I think Ottawa definitely can jump. I think Ottawa could be.
I'm talking about the Metro though.
Oh yeah, I was looking at wildcard stands, got confused. Let's go back to the Metro. Yeah, Columbus will jump them. Philly will fall.
The Devils.
Yeah, the Devils will be a playoff team. Pittsburgh's going to fall. Yeah, I agree, Jack.
All right, cool. How about you, Seuss? Do you agree?
Yes, I perfectly agree. I think it's Carolina, the Islanders, Devils. Penguins are not even going to be close in my mind to a playoff spot. I think Philly is going to be better than Pittsburgh. I don't think Columbus is 5th. I think they're going into 6th.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay, so if Pittsburgh's not going to be even close to a playoff spot, so you're saying the Devils make it in?
The Devils make it in.
When? Because right now it is a 7-point lead over Pittsburgh to New Jersey.
I'm gonna say not very early March, middle March because of the break. They're gonna jump over Pittsburgh.
Okay. So Pittsburgh stays afloat for 2 more months, is what you're saying?
Because of the break.
Okay.
The break is very long. It's the Olympic break, and I think the Devils take the break. They have a good break, and then they go and get them.
All right, not team of the week, Seuss.
My not team of the week is a team that you rarely see on not team of the week, the Dallas Stars. The only reason the Stars are on here because everyone else this was a very hard not team of the week. I picked them because they got shut out by Columbus 1-0 yesterday, and Jet Graves played out of his mind. 28 saves shut out for the young Columbus Blue Jackets goaltender. They just couldn't find the net. And they lost to Tampa 4-1. They won 2-0 week. So that's not even a bad week per se when you look at the Capitals. But for Dallas, that's a bad week considering how good they've been playing. So I think there's no problems here with Dallas at all.
Yeah.
I think it was just that everyone else didn't have a bad week.
And really, I don't think there's a whole lot else to say about Dallas. Like, just nobody. Jack has something.
I will bring something up. Okay, so I noticed this when I was writing my article this week. Dallas, they are way too reliant on their power play, and I'm going to explain it right now. Their power play is awesome. Mikko Rantanen, Jason Robertson, Wyatt Johnston, Miro Heiskanen, Rupe Hintz. Those are the 5 on that top group. They have all been outstanding. This power play is maybe the best in hockey. You go out of those 5, the top scorer on this team is Esa Lindell, who is a defensive defenseman. I think they are severely lacking depth, even more so than a team like Tampa Bay. I'm not saying it's too much of a cause for concern because, again, that top 5 is just so incredible, and it's been enough to carry them throughout the season. They need to do something at the deadline, though. They need to get a good mid-tier scorer to really help balance out this offense, and if they do that, they are a cup contender. Maybe 2.
Do you think that home ice in the first round is important for Dallas?
I do not. I think they can go on the road and win.
Okay. I will go into my not team of the week. Kind of in a similar boat as Seuss, a team that, not a good team, but a team that didn't have that bad of a week, but needs to have a better one, and that's the Winnipeg Jets. Going 1-1-2 this week, but a team that had high expectations going into the season, but right now sits at 7th place in the Central. Not a whole lot I really can say about the Jets because they've been struggling all year, but things like a 2-0 loss to Chicago looks bad. Losing 2-1 in the shootout to Panthers isn't a good look. A loss to Toronto, and then your only win is at home against St. Louis, and beating the Blues means nothing to anybody. And the biggest issue for Winnipeg right now is just the rest of their schedule before the Olympic break. They're going to get, see if they're 4 straight road games. They're getting Devils, Lightning, Panthers, Stars, and then
Montreal at home.
And Montreal to end the first half.
Jeez.
I don't even know if they win.
They will not.
Game.
They'll go 0-5 to end the first half of the season.
It could be 0-6 because Detroit's not a guaranteed win either.
Maybe Florida.
Oh, I didn't think about it. I didn't see that. Detroit tomorrow night at home. Yeah,
Maybe.
2 wins at most. I think I'm gonna go 1 win, 5 losses.
The floor is
Florida.
0 wins. The ceiling is 2 wins.
I'm gonna say they win Florida.
Well, they just lost to Florida at home.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying they're gonna win because they've seen them and
I guess,
they'll be more prepared.
But going to Florida,
who shows up to
San
Sunrise
Jose
right
just
now?
went. San Jose just
Who's
went
going to
Florida.
Panthers games right now?
that's a good point.
It's not a rock and roll environment.
But, yeah, don't have any faith in the Winnipeg Jets, and it's so strange to see because at the beginning of the season they were a cup contender.
Yeah, exactly.
And you thought Hellebuck's coming back. Okay, a little momentum is going their way.
Yeah.
But they haven't seen the results on the ice. And now with this very difficult stretch before their winter break is coming up, now looking at the schedule, I don't see them being close before the winter break.
No, yeah, I agree. I think they're going to fall. Might even fall into 8th place in the division if St. Louis can figure something out.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Just based on that schedule, I'm going to look at the Blues schedule to end the the break.
I still think Winnipeg is better than Chicago. I think they'll be a 6th place team.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, they're 2 points behind them.
I know, but
And I think Chicago is Connor Bedard and not much else. I think there's a bit more depth on this Winnipeg team.
I guess at this point in the season, I care about what have you done on the season, not where you are right now.
That's true.
Chicago has shown signs of being a playoff team. They've been in a playoff spot. Even St. Louis has shown signs of being a decent team. They were, 4 points out of a playoff spot at one point this year before they got a cold streak. Winnipeg at no point this season has been up in the top of the wild card race. They've been in the basement the entire season.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, to be fair, it's I don't really think it's worth it to debate about 6th or 7th place in this division because neither of them will be in the playoffs regardless.
No.
So I do think Chicago's building something, though. I do agree with you.
I agree. I think Chicago will be good, and because of the signs that we've seen this season, I think that next year they'll compete.
Yeah, the core's so young. You're gonna get another top 10 draft pick. Put it with this great core you already have. So I think next year is going to be another year where you're going to be close to the playoffs. I don't know if they make it, but they'll be in the fight for a wild card spot next year.
All right, let's preview the week ahead. Jack, what are you going to be watching this week?
There are a lot of good games this upcoming week. I had a really hard time picking this, but I am going with a game on Monday night. The red-hot Utah Mammoth going on the road to face the Tampa Bay Lightning. I'm excited just to see how Utah matches up against what I think is the best team in the East. I'm really interested to see how this one goes. We have Mikhail Sergachev going back to Tampa Bay, this time as a member of Utah. So I'm interested to see what happens. I'm not really expecting Utah to win, but I'm excited to see how they play on the road against a really tough team.
Who's yours?
What I'm looking forward to is the Avalanche at Montreal. I know you picked the Montreal game.
I did.
They have a really tough 2 games coming up, it looks like. And the Avalanche are just the best team in the NHL, like I said before. And Montreal is probably the best home environment in all of the National Hockey League, in my opinion. So it's going to be fun to see the best team go to the best
That's definitely a Stanley Cup preview potential.
Sure. I have another potential Stanley Cup preview, and that's the Knights going to Montreal. I don't think the Golden Knights make the Cup this season, but this is a situation where if all things go right, Tuesday night's game in Montreal could be that contest. So Vegas going to Montreal is going to be a good one.
3 interleague matchups.
Yeah.
Interconference
I really
matchups.
wanted to find
Well
a conference game, but there wasn't. All the good ones this week. Let me look back.
These are more fun to pick, though, because they don't happen as much.
I know.
Yeah, true.
But I mean, Blackhawks at Wild could be fun.
Montreal, Boston, always a fun time on Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah. That game should only ever be on Saturday. That's Hockey Night in Canada.
Yeah.
Let me see. Anything
Is there
else?
anything else?
Is the Montreal-Boston game in Montreal or Boston?
It's
in Boston.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boston Rangers
Ducks
is
and
always
Kraken.
good.
Ducks and Kraken's going to be an important game.
They're going to be fighting for 3rd place in the Pacific,
exactly.
so that's a good one.
Yeah.
Buffalo, Toronto, weirdly enough.
That's a good one. Buffalo's been really playing well.
Yeah.
And they have not gotten cold after that huge winning streak they had, so I think they deserve a ton of credit.
The Islanders play the Rangers on Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah, those games don't matter.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, any final thoughts?
Any final thoughts? I'm very excited for the Olympics coming up. I don't know how good the U.S. is going to do, but I'm excited to see it.
Yeah. We got a full year of international sports coming up. It's
It's a good time.
It's going to be good.
It's a good time to be a sports fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch the Olympics, and I'm really excited to see how this playoff race shapes out. I really am.
Yeah. All right, well, that'll do it for us for this week's edition of the Dump and Chase podcast presented by the Hoosier Network. I've been Noah Bedoris with Jack Rizzo and Noah Seuss. We'll see you next week.